Money Buckets is designed to bring your budget back to a few simple numbers that you can remember. It's a bit like organising your money into separate buckets to do different jobs. Think of those buckets as separate bank accounts. The first bucket is where all pays and other income goes. From this bucket we are going to work out what needs to stay in here to pay the regularly occurring bills. That's this first part of the budget expenses. Things like mortgages, rent, rates and insurance, car rego and service costs, loan payments, electricity, phones and water. Basically things that will arrive as bills or are a regularly occurring payment. We're going to call this the working account. You will need the working account to have direct debit facility or electronic transfer capabilities, so you can pay the bills. From this bucket we are going to move money that is discretionary and of a weekly spending nature into a separate account. This is for things like groceries, petrol and clothes, haircuts, entertainment and eating out, alcohol, cigarettes and incidental things. This account would be best served with having a direct debit card, so you can access this money via a card. We are going to call this the weekly spending account. Some couples may choose to have their own spending accounts instead, so each has their own pocket money. The Money Buckets budget we have divides the bills into two sections to reflect this. Once you put your figures into the budget and push calculate, you'll either have a surplus or a loss. If you have a surplus, we can work out how much of that you may want to put into a savings account. Say for a holiday, furniture or perhaps a house deposit. You may want to leave part of your surplus in your working account for emergencies. If there is a loss, you may need to cut back on your spending where you can. If that is not possible, especially because of loans and cards, you better call to see what can be done. The money in your working account may build up, but that is not yours to spend. It is there for the bills that are going to come, like new tyres or car service and rego. We suggest you work out a weekly allowance that will cover tyres, servicing, car insurance and rego. If the car is a bit older, add a bit per week to cover repairs as well. The money in your weekly spending account is yours to spend weekly. But if you run out, you stay home and eat from the cupboard. If you don't spend all of that allowance and it starts to add up, you may spend it on something nice or special. This is the most important number to remember. Once this is all worked out, this is the amount you need to stick to for a weekly spending allowance. As long as you have the same income going into that working account, you will know exactly how much you have to spend weekly. If you earn more than your nominated wage, you can add it to whatever bucket you wish. But if you earn less, it must reduce the amount you can put into the savings bucket or weekly spending account. Reduce it by the amount your pay is short of normal. If you have put the right figures in, your budget will average out over a 12-month period to pay all your bills. Of course there will not be enough for rego if you only just started the account and it comes around next week. You'll have to work your way into it. So now enter your budget into Money Buckets and see how your budget adds up. You can save it on our website with a login and a password if you wish. Come back and update it at a later date as things change, add or decrease things in case you forgot something, or put something new in to see how it affects your overall budget. Even do a copy and see what effect there is if you change something. The self-employed budget will also have buckets for tax as well. If you need help, you can call 1800 825 010 in business hours. If your budget doesn't add up, there are options available to help. If you have a surplus, you may be interested in how to prepare for a home loan or investment property.